Before we dive in, take a moment and hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Today, we are talking about something that could change the way you look at your old coin collection forever. I'm talking about a piece of history that has traveled through time, survived wars, economic shifts, and the hands of countless collectors. Yet few even know its true story. Imagine holding a coin that once exchanged hands in the bustling markets of South Africa in 1940, a coin that quietly witnessed a world in the midst of turmoil. This isn't just any coin, it's a half-penny from the Union of South Africa, a seemingly humble piece of copper and bronze, but one with a story that stretches beyond its modest size. Back in 1940, the world was in chaos. Europe was at war, nations were struggling, and yet life went on in every corner of the globe, including South Africa. People were buying goods, paying for services, and saving what little they could in coins just like this. A 1/2 penny might seem small today, but back then, it was a meaningful part of everyday life. It could buy bread, milk, a newspaper, or even a sweet treat for a child. Every scratch, every dent on these coins tells a story of the hands that held it, the pockets it jingled in, and the lives it touched. What makes this coin especially fascinating isn't just its history, but its rarity. The 1/2 penny of 1940 wasn't minted in massive numbers. Over time, many were lost, melted down, or simply worn beyond recognition. Coins from this era are often found in circulation condition, scratched, faded, and bearing the marks of time, but some survived in surprisingly good condition. Those that remain are incredibly sought after by collectors and investors alike. And here's the thing, coins are more than metal. They are tangible links to a past we can no longer visit. They are storytellers. Every groove, every edge, every tiny detail carries whispers of history. The Union of South Africa coinage itself is fascinating. Back then, South Africa had its own currency system, bridging Dutch, British, and African influences. These coins symbolize a unique period in South African history, when the country was finding its identity, grappling with challenges, and yet producing artful, functional currency. For a collector, holding a 1941 half-penny is like holding a passport to another time. Imagine the conversations at a collector's club when you pull out a coin that many have never seen, a coin that represents an era when life moved at a slower pace, when coins mattered in everyday transactions. This is where nostalgia meets investment potential, a combination that collectors dream about. But it's not just about the past. Coins like this also represent extraordinary opportunities today. The market for rare, historically significant coins has grown tremendously over the decades. Serious collectors, investors, and even museums are constantly seeking pieces with authentic provenance and historical significance. A coin that might have been worth just a few cents at a flea market in the 1980s could now be worth tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands, depending on its condition and rarity, and let's not underestimate the thrill. There's nothing quite like the moment you realize that something that sat forgotten in a drawer or a dusty coin album could be worth far more than you ever imagined. The 1940 Union of South Africa 1/2 penny carries that exact thrill, a hidden treasure that connects the past to the present. Some collectors focus on the artistry, the intricate details of the springbok on the reverse, the precise inscriptions, the subtle imperfections that make each coin unique. Others are drawn by the challenge, the hunt to find a coin in top condition among a sea of circulated ones, the excitement of unearthing a piece that has eluded collectors for decades. And then there's the financial aspect. Coins like this aren't just hobbies, they're assets that grow in value over time, sometimes quietly, sometimes dramatically. You may be thinking, it's just a small copper coin. How much could it really be worth? That's the beauty of numismatics. Value isn't just measured by metal, it's measured by history, rarity, and demand. In fact, some of the finest examples of this 1940 half-penny have reached values that are almost unimaginable. Collectors who recognize the significance early on have seen their investment multiply many times over, and in some extraordinary cases, a coin like this, in exceptional condition with perfect provenance, could be valued at nearly $5 million. Yes, $5 million. For a coin that fits in the palm of your hand, think about that for a moment. Something that may have been overlooked for decades, perhaps sitting in your grandfather's old coin collection, could be worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. That's the magic of coins. They're frozen fragments of history, but also potential keys to wealth. So if you have an old coin album gathering dust, if you've inherited coins from your father or grandfather, or even if you've been casually collecting for years, take a closer look. Each coin is a story, a history, a potential treasure. And sometimes, the most unassuming pieces, like the 1940 Union of South Africa 1/2 penny, carry the greatest rewards. Remember, history rewards patience. Collecting coins isn't just about what you have today. It's about recognizing the value in what others overlook. It's about connecting with the past, understanding the journey of money and life itself, and occasionally, finding something that transforms everything. So as you finish watching this, I want you to imagine holding that coin in your hand, feeling the weight of history, the excitement of rarity, and the possibility that you could own a piece worth millions. And don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a moment of the stories, treasures, and secrets that coins from the past have to offer. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about a coin. It's about the adventure, the history, and the extraordinary potential hidden in plain sight. And for the 1940 Union of South Africa 1/2 penny, that potential is nothing short of astonishing. A staggering $5 million for the right piece in the right condition. That's the power of history in the palm of your hand.
Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on rare finds and hidden treasures that could change your collection, or even your life. Trust me, you're going to want to see this one through to the end. Imagine holding a piece of history right in the palm of your hand. Something so small yet so powerful, it carries a story that stretches back nearly a century. Today, I'm talking about a coin that many people walk past, not realizing the treasure they might be holding, or what it could be worth decades later. We are looking at the South African half penny from 1938. Now, this isn't just any coin. Think about it. In 1938, the world was on the edge of massive change. The air was thick with tension, whispers of conflict were growing louder, and everyday life was still grounded in the simple rhythms of the time: buying groceries, taking the tram, walking home at sunset. A half penny from that era might seem trivial at first glance, but it is, in reality, a window into that world. Every scratch, every patina tells a story of decades gone by. If you grew up in the 50s or 60s, you remember when coins had weight and presence. They weren't just plastic symbols of value. They were objects of craftsmanship, minted with care and precision. This South African half penny was made from bronze, giving it a durability that stood the test of time. And it wasn't mass-produced like today's coins. Each batch carried tiny variations, details that collectors obsess over and pay a premium for. Let's talk design for a moment, because this is where the story really comes alive. On one side, you have the portrait of King George VI, the young monarch navigating a world on the brink of war. The engraver captured his likeness with remarkable realism. Every curve of the face, every line in the crown, is frozen in time. On the flip side, there's the iconic South African coat of arms from the pre-Union era, a symbol of a nation proud of its heritage, striving for identity amidst global upheaval. Now, I know what you might be thinking. It's just a coin. How much can it really be worth? That's where it gets interesting. You see, rarity and condition are everything in the coin world. Most coins from 1938 were circulated, picked up and spent countless times, leaving them worn and scratched. But a coin that has survived in excellent condition, with its details crisp and its surfaces clean, becomes something collectors will fight over. It becomes a tangible link to history, and history, as we know, can carry a premium. For those of you who love a little thrill, think of this. The half penny isn't just sitting in a jar somewhere. Many were lost, melted down, or simply discarded over the decades. That scarcity drives value. And because coins like this were minted before the era of modern collecting, their numbers are limited. What's left today are the survivors, the rare few that make collectors' hearts race. You might also find it fascinating that coins like this often spark conversations and connections. Imagine pulling a 1938 half penny out of your pocket and handing it to a friend or grandchild. Suddenly, History isn't a textbook or a grainy photograph. It's real. It's tangible. You can feel the weight of the past, the craftsmanship, the story of a world that has changed in unimaginable ways. And that, my friends, is priceless to many collectors. For collectors in our age group, there's also a subtle joy in nostalgia. Handling coins from your childhood, or coins that circulated when your parents or grandparents were your age, creates a bridge across time. You're not just collecting metal. You're preserving memories, preserving moments, and sometimes, you're even making a smart financial move. Because let's be honest, not every coin appreciates like this, but when it does, it can be staggering. Let's get a little technical, but don't worry, I'll keep it simple. When assessing a coin like this, collectors look at several key things: the detail in the portrait, the condition of the edges, the color of the bronze, and any unique markings or errors from the minting process. Even a tiny scratch, or an unusual feature, can make a huge difference in value. And this is exactly why serious collectors hunt for coins like the South African half-penny from 1938. They are not just rare. They are full of personality and history. And here's the secret most people don't realize: coins can be an investment that is both tangible and meaningful. Unlike stocks or bonds, a coin sits in your hand, a piece of history you can touch, admire, and pass down. The South African half-penny, in particular, has been quietly rising in recognition among collectors worldwide because of its historical significance and limited numbers. You may ask, so, what's this coin worth today? Well, for those who held on, who preserved it, who understood its story, the payoff can be extraordinary. This isn't just about a few dollars here or there. A high-grade, well-preserved 1938 South African half-penny can reach astonishing numbers at auction. People who once thought of it as just another coin in their collection are now seeing the reward of decades of preservation and patience. Now, I promised you would reveal the value at the end, so here it is. A South African half-penny from 1938, in excellent condition, can be worth up to $9,000. That's right. $9,000 for a single coin that many might have overlooked, tossed in a drawer, or forgotten in a collection. And that's not a fantasy. These are real numbers from serious collectors who recognize the rarity, the condition, and the historical significance of this coin. So, if you've ever wondered whether the coins you've been holding onto have hidden value, this is a prime example of why it pays to take a closer look. It's not just about money, it's about discovering a piece of the past, preserving it, and maybe even turning a passion into something unexpectedly rewarding. If you enjoyed this dive into history, craftsmanship, and treasure, don't forget to subscribe. There are countless coins and artifacts out there, each with a story, each with potential value, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. You might already own a hidden gem without even realizing it. So the next time you come across an old coin, don't just pass it by. Think about the stories it carries, the hands it has passed through, and the potential value it holds. History isn't just something we read about, it's something we can hold, something that can surprise us, and sometimes, something that can change lives. And remember, that South African half-penny from 1938. One well-preserved example could be worth up to $9,000 today. So keep looking, keep collecting, and most importantly, keep cherishing the stories behind every coin. Because sometimes, the past has a way of rewarding those who pay attention.